Hey y'all, my name is Annelies and I have created a Patreon and you probably have some questions, so in this video I want to try to answer them as best and fast as I can. So let me answer that first question of yours. Who the heck are you? Well, if you don't know who I am, my name is Annelies Veldman. I am a content creator on YouTube as well as a new podcaster. I've been making videos on YouTube for about 3 years consistently and podcasts for about 8 months now. My YouTube videos span anywhere from tech videos, vlogs, and I like to say everything in between. So I'm recently reaching my feelers into the makeup world and sketches, and there's so many possibilities for my YouTube channel that I would like to explore, but that's kind of the gist of it as of right now. My podcast is called Waterfall of Consciousness, so it's me just kind of, a stream of consciousness where you're just kind of thinking on an idea and you're going in one direction. Well, sometimes my stream of consciousness is more of like a waterfall, and that's where I got the idea. So it's just kind of me talking about things that are brain and getting them out of my brain, and who knows what the possibilities are with my podcast for the future. Your second question might be, what is Patreon? So if you've never heard of Patreon, Patreon is a website where you can subscribe to people or become a patron of them and support them monetarily for whatever they're creating. So whether they're an artist, a musician, a dancer, a content creator like myself, a filmmaker, anything really, if you create stuff, you can have a Patreon, and you can also have supporters who are your patrons. Now, most Patreons have different tiers or levels of support that can start anywhere from $1 to anything above that. And I personally have my own tiers that I call Barb, Mabel, Ethel, and Pearl. They're all old ladies because that's what I am. Now, each of those tiers have a different monetary value associated to it, as well as different rewards and ways for me to say thank you. So right now I have a reward such as being at the end of all of my YouTube videos in a Patreon thank you screen, which if you've seen any of my recent YouTube videos, you've probably seen that Patreon screen. Other things that I hope to do in the future are live streams where I can do a Q&A with just my Patreon supporters. Other ways of saying thank you that I'm looking forward to doing for my Patreon supporters is potentially an exclusive podcast episode, an exclusive video, and other things that I can show gratitude and say thank you to all my patrons. Another question you might have is, if I become a patron to your Patreon, how is my patronage supporting you and what you create? When it comes to making videos or podcasts or just creating content, it can get expensive. The higher your production value goes, the higher the cost of things you need to make your production value go higher, as you could only assume. Things I would like to get in the future is potentially more microphones so I can do videos with more people and still have that sound quality be really clear and crisp. I would also like to get new lighting set up because these two lights I have are beautiful, great lights, but they're like this big and like the size of an old TV, so it's hard to travel with them and do videos on the go or while I'm traveling. And there are tons of other tools that I would like to get or have to be able to make my videos as high quality as they can be. I want to do more sketches in the future, and I have ideas written down, but they require certain things that I don't exactly have the money for right now. So that's what you're doing when you subscribe to me on Patreon, is you're helping me fund my YouTube channel, my podcasts, and my future creative projects. As of right now, any money that's coming through my Patreon is going straight back into any of my content creation. This isn't money that's gonna go pay my telephone bill or my water bill. This is going into my content creation because that's exactly what you guys are paying for, is to support me in making better content for you. I've made content on YouTube, like I said, for a couple of years now, really consistently, but I've been on YouTube for about 6 years, and what I've always loved about YouTube is it's a creative outlet for me where I can create things that are in my head that I find enjoyable, that I think are fun, and I like to make. But along with me enjoying my content and me having fun with it, I also love making videos that people can enjoy, they can be entertained by, or that they can learn something from. And those are the goals that I have with every video that I can create. I want you to enjoy yourself, be entertained, be educated, one of those three or all three, and that makes me happy. Now, I want to say this and I want to be super clear. If you cannot support me monetarily through Patreon, please don't feel guilty, don't feel bad. I understand. I am currently in that same spot. There are tons of creators that I watch on YouTube that I would love to be able to support through Patreon, but I'm just not in that financial position right now. And so I understand if you are in the same place. So please don't feel bad or guilty that you can't do that. I understand, because because I relate to it. When you subscribe to my channel, when you like my videos, when you share my videos, when you share my Patreon page, that all helps me out in a very similar way that Patreon helps me out. By you spreading my name, other people see my videos, maybe they subscribe to my channel, maybe they like my videos, maybe they watch my videos and they're entertained by them and they love them and they enjoy them, or they're learning something, or maybe there's somebody who can afford to support me on Patreon. And so there's so many ways you can help me and support me as a content creator, as a podcaster, as a person, besides just monetarily through Patreon. And even though Patreon is absolutely amazing and it brings me to tears in all honesty, but I'm not gonna cry because I just did my makeup, but it brings me to tears when I see the people who have subscribed to me on Patreon. I've gotten messages from my patrons that seriously just warm my heart and make me real, sweaty eyes, because that just means so much to me that somebody thinks that I have potential to keep creating or continue to create or create more great content and even better content, and they're so excited to see what my future holds that they're willing to put money towards me. I think that's just amazing. And anybody who subscribes to my channel, who likes my videos, I feel the same way, that thank you for supporting me and having faith in me, and I'm so happy you enjoy my content enough to want to support me in any way. And I think with that being said, I've answered pretty much everything that I can in this video. So if you would like to subscribe to me on Patreon, my Patreon is patreon.com/Annelies. I still don't know how I got that username, and I'm really happy I did, to be completely honest. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, that is youtube.com/Annelies Veldman, so feel free to check that out as well. I've got a Twitter, I've got an Instagram, and all my social media are always linked in the description of my videos, so please feel free to check that out. And otherwise, I think that is it for me. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. It seriously means a lot to me that anybody would take any time out of their day to watch me and my stinking face talk to a camera and hear words that come out of my mouth, but especially this video. So thank you so much. Stay beautiful, have a marvelous day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hi there. This is the point of the video where I like to thank my Patreon supporters. All these wonderful, beautiful people are at the Ethel tier or above when it comes to supporting me on my Patreon, and that means they pledge at least $10 a month. All these wonderful, beautiful people are so giving, and I just wanted to say thank you so very much. Now, if you want to be a supporter of Guess Who, me, on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/Annelies and pledge your support to me in all of my endeavors, whether it be on YouTube or on my podcast or all things that are kooky and crazy and Annelies. Be sure to remember this kooky, quirky gal when you're supporting me on Patreon, and I really wish there was something else I could offer you, but this is what I'm working with.